Good morning, everyone. And I hope today finds you a new day and a new exciting day and something good happens to you. I pray that your life um, just blossoms today. I've been feeling quite sort of nostalgic in the last while, and God has reminded me of things that I began, places that I began with. The beginning of being a mom, the beginning of doing these devotionals, the beginning of being a wife, um, and just the beginning of being a woman, and reminding me things in my childhood and that. And I just like, Lord, what is that? What is that you're trying to do? And in Isaiah 43, verse 18, it says, Remember not the former things, nor consider the things of old. And I keep thinking, now, so why am I being reminded of all these things? And it's not like I'm going to live back in that space. Of course, we think of our younger days with fondness and nostalgia and especially the good times. I mean, good memories are what kind of spur us on and get us forward and remind us of where we've come from so that we can understand that we're going to a different place. But the Bible says, remember not the former things. And I think it's because it's in Isaiah, I think it's Isaiah saying to them that things are changing. And that's the normal um, flow of things. Things go from a what used to be to a what is going to be, or what is now and then what is going to be. Your children grow up. Your life changes all the time. When you get married, you're no longer single if you get married. When you move out the house, you no longer have a mother to cook your food. You've got to do things are different. And you can't sit there and mourn that your children have grown up. That's what you've been doing all this time, is helping them grow up. You can't sit and look at your husband grow old or your wife grow old and go, that's not what I wanted. Well, what did you expect? That's the rhythm of life. Things move on. I am not the same wife I used to be. My husband sometimes is very grateful for that, and sometimes I wonder if he wishes I wasn't. There's this rhythm of life, and it's a rhythm that moves forward. It's like a river and a rhythm, and it's just lovely, and it moves forward. And sometimes there's these great moments of fear and anxiety and anger and hurt and missing when you lose somebody, even. But mostly, there's these moments of just being normal, just being in your family, just loving your children and considering your husband or the people that live next door or your friends, your besties. I've got some really good besties. Just the rhythm of life is such a God-given gift that we can't deny ourselves that gift. And if we keep living in what used to be, um, we cannot become what God needs us to become. And all those things, there's this residue, even those sinful things that you've done, God can use that in your life to touch others. And if we live back in the place of life used to be like that and we want our children to do that and they live in a totally different world. We once went to, when I was pregnant with my first daughter, we once went to a talk of a child psychologist, and he said, you can tell your children stories in a fashion of nostalgia, but you cannot tell them irrelevant things to make them feel guilty or shame because they are not struggling the same struggles you did. You must remember their struggles are different because their time is different. This time in the world now is different for my children at the age that I was then. You know what I'm saying? We cannot stay in the past. We can remember the things, understand the lessons, and move forward. Because if we stayed in the past and we were sinners, we cannot have accepted Christ and moved forward to righteousness. So I want you to think about it, and I want you to think of those things that you yearn for, almost like with anger or such a longing that it's holding you back. If something is holding you back and trying to keep you back in the past, like Isaiah was trying to tell the people, um, you stop doing those things. Those things were for then, and these things are for now. And I know that often Isaiah and the story of Christ is very interlinked, interlinked, how the Old and the New Testament actually weave together in the story of a perfect wholeness. Remember not the former things. He actually means do not go and live in the past. Memories aren't bad. Lessons remembered aren't bad. But you've got to remember the lesson learned with a feeling of accomplishment. And if you've come a long way, you've accomplished a lot. Well done, good and faithful servant. So I want you to just look into your heart and look at those places where you yearn to maybe be back in a place where you are not. Think about it. Is it holding you back? Or is it allowing you to move forward to accomplish some new joy and some new goodness in your life? Think about that today and have a wonderful day. And we'll speak again tomorrow.